Hey, yo, whoa, we are back. I know it's been a while, people. We are back with another episode of Excuse Opinion with your gracious and humble host, Ski. Let's get into the show, people. Let's get into the show. I know it's been a while. It's been a while. I've been busy. Um, Taking care of family, taking care of life. I just put it that way, right? But I have not forgot about you guys. Everybody out there in the skis, Opinion Nation, people. Gotta say, it's been a lot going on. And I'm gonna say, I've been pretty out of the loop because I know you guys haven't heard from me in a while. But I'm here to give a short synopsis, on what's been cracking. So I said short synopsis because I am going to go back to original in Ski's opinion without the clips, today. But I'm gonna speak on a few things. So first thing first, people, I know everybody heard. Everybody had to hear about the big banks and Takashi 6 MF9, y'all, right? Takashi 6ix9ine. I walk down. He said, no, you don't. You don't walk nothing down, dude. You see how they stumped your body in LA Fitness? Like, you don't walk nothing down, dude. You just talk a lot of ish, which is entertaining, though. I will say that. The dude got a decent setup. He, I guess, about to start his own network, Facts TV. He say facts. He speaks truth to a lot of stuff, but he be capping too. But anyway, Big Banks had an interview with my man, and it was at his side. I guess he had to go out to Florida or wherever 6ix9ine is and shoot the interview. And during that interview, you just gotta think that a lot, right? And I have to be biased, and speak truth where truth is, right? Number one thing I did point out, I have to point out what I saw in that interview, and that would be that Big Facts, um, Big Bank, I keep saying Big Fact. Big Bank, which it was an interview, perspectives with Bank, right? So Big Bank, was ill prepared. I know everybody keeps saying that, but he was. He got there and him and 6ix9ine was going back and forth. 6ix9ine had a problem with Big Bank not holding the young thugs and the he said the young thugs and gunners and all of them accountable like everybody held him accountable, for his actions or the things that he has done, which has been this snitching, right? So 6ix9ine feel like Banks is playing favoritism when it comes to that. And so just as the video kept going, interview was going on, I gotta agree with 6ix9ine. He was. He was to the point to where you can kind of see that Banks didn't want to admit things when he was making points. But I would say this though, I think he shut him down as far as steady going to the clips and all of that. Like, I don't want to see that, man. Like, sit down, man. What are you doing? You know how 6ix9ine is. He's super animated. He got a lot going on, but I like the fact that like, why are you doing all that? Like, you ain't got to do all that. We doing this interview. Let's just do the interview, right? So Banks was saying that, um, 6ix9ine need to take accountability for what he's done, right? He keep talking about everything that happened to him. The guy sleep with his baby mom and stealing money from him and treating him kid. Now I'm trying to kill his mom, all that, which is true, right? But I don't know about the baby mom thing, because she keep denying it. Shotty never said, but a real man don't kiss and tell. So, um, with that being said, they're going back and forth. Um, and he's catching Banks. He's catching him with some hot one. And Banks couldn't even, he act laughing with that. But the whole thing is, and I seen on the interview on Big Facts, Banks did afterwards with Ray Daniel. Ray Daniel, shout out to my man Ray Daniel, Big Facts, DJ Scream, all of them, and Big Banks as well. I liked the episode that they did. They talked about the interview. He wasn't ready. And he admitted that on that interview, and they went over the situation of, how 6ix9ine basically, lined him up, I would say, And the one thing that people not speaking on, right? As bad as that interview did look for Banks, um, it also didn't look that bad. If you ask me, it didn't look that bad because um, it didn't look that bad because he also got paid. And he also got to put it on his channel, right? So the monetization off of that situation, I mean, if you want to say he got embarrassed and he was treated and this and that or whatever, however people want to look at it, right? And you can say what you want within that situation, right? I'm going to say I can't agree with that, right? And the reason why I can't agree with that is because what that business did, that was great as far as for Banks, right? Financially. It looked it kind of messed up, as far as how the perception looked it on the show with 6ix9ine doing all of what he was doing. But I think Banks kept it real. He calmed him back down. He reeled him back in, had him sit down and get 6ix9ine to the point to where, he jumped up a couple more times or whatever throughout the interview, but he wasn't as animated as he wanted to be because I think he kind of paid attention that Banks wasn't going, to that extent, right? So, with that being said, I think it was a pretty decent interview as well. Yeah, it was pretty entertaining. I think Big Facts, Big Banks. I keep saying facts. My bad, y'all. Banks is probably at like 1 million views right now on that video, and I heard he got paid a pretty penny to come out there. So he's up. You can't joke Cloud too much on that, when he benefited from it. I mean, yeah, it didn't look great. But at the end of the day, I think it was a power move. I mean, I think it was pretty genius for him to get paid and get to put it on his network. It's great. And then I gotta go to the next thing I think I'm gonna talk about. I gotta stick with the 6ix9ine situation is him and Black. It seems like 6ix9ine has this pattern going on how he's gonna do what he's gonna do on Facts TV, right? If he get anybody on there, I don't know, what I mean? But he's paying, so why wouldn't people go? But anyway, 6ix9ine looks pretty reputable, I would say. Incredible on what he's speaking on. He tried to pull the same thing on Vlad. I don't know what episode was first, Vlad's or his, but Vlad called him out on something that he saw 6ix9ine, when he was with Shotty and them, when he was with Treyway, and how he is now, from back then to now, what 6ix9ine was. Um, then and how 6ix9ine is now. You don't have a bunch of bloods around you that you really don't know. And now you have a few guys around you that you actually built genuine situations with. And you know these guys. Like, you didn't know. Shot it. I mean, yeah, everybody know he paid those guys to protect them and put them there. But like Vlad said, I agree with Vlad on that as far as you got drunk with power because he was running those guys, and I think they played themselves. Like you supposed to kept the goose who was laying the golden eggs out of all the BS. I don't care how much he want to be a part of whatever, right? Because he's trying to put out this persona for the rap game. Dude, you are money, right? You are food. You're not gonna be a part of that. Somebody got a problem with you, we'll take care of it. You're never gonna be seen doing anything, right? To where they get indicted, like 6ix9ine said, they was being indicted 5 to 6 years before he even came with them. So that was coming, Would it have came that fast? With a lot of the cases that they did get locked up on, they spoke more so on the stuff that was going on when they was with him. Yeah, they could go back into, things like that, but I don't think that that investigation was actually as relevant as it became when those guys started dealing with 6ix9ine, right? So, oh, my bad. So I have to agree with Vlad as far as it is a difference, on where he was then and where he is now. He still try to play that, but he know he really can't because you can't do the street stuff when you broke the rules of the street. We have to be honest. He broke the rules of the street, so what do we say? What do we do, with that? But I will agree with Banks as far as you need to take accountability for your part in it as well, and this is what you signed up for, whether you knew it or not, right? And 6ix9ine tried to sway that same point to Vlad, which I'm gonna say he made a point with when he had to go with Dirk. And he said Dirk is in a situation similar to his. You put on a bunch of guys who you really about know them, a lot of them, but some of them you probably didn't know. Like you said, you gave Vonnie a job, you put him on, you fed this dude, Jam get out of jail, you give him 50, he ain't have to ask again, but anyway, it's similar, right? But the only difference is Dirk is a real street person, and I'm gonna say 6ix9ine wasn't, but neither here nor there. What does that matter, Because both of y'all were in the industry and shouldn't have been doing what y'all was doing, or even being involved or in cahoots with anything that was going on that was illegal with those guys, right? So they both played a dummy move. But my thing was, I didn't understand why he was bringing up Dirk until he said why, because he went at Dirk and he's talking about Drake, how Drake ended up losing the battle with Kendrick Lamar, this and that, and he said that Dirk, on that I didn't agree with 6ix9ine with was that as he said that Dirk wasn't big until he did the song with Drake, and then he was put into a position where he can help other people. Well, that's a lie. Drake put on Bond. Dirk put on Hypno Kalido. Dirk put on Mimo 600, Just Blow, a lot of guys, Duty Low, all of those people were eating, And was he number one or at the top of the charts or anything right there at that time? But he was charting. He was making money, right? He was making so much money and had so much connections within this. He was able to put Vaughn in a situation where Vaughn was charting, and Vaughn was able to grab his people and take care of them. So to say he was irrelevant before the Drake music video, I can't agree with that because he was on a climb. Did it help? Yeah, it did. But I feel he would have got there. He would have got there anyway. It might have took him a little bit long, a couple more singles to pop or whatever, to where he did get there, but he was on his way, you know. And that's why Drake did the single, the song with him, and he was even on his radar because he was already hitting those circles. He was doing songs with Pluto. He was doing songs with he already had these features of big players who was actually doing numbers at the time. So he was there, you guys, right? We're not gonna act like Drake did everything for him. He didn't. But with that being said, like I said, that's all I got to speak on as far as that situation with 6ix9ine. I think it was entertaining. I think that he may be doing some big numbers on his own show. Facts TV. I walk ish down. No, you don't.